And welcome back to the Texas Underground Radar. I am your host, JVaz. We got a gang of special friends with us today.
Gang.
From Austin. Actually, not Austin, Georgetown, Texas. And we got Fort Worth in the building as well.
Hey.
As always, before we introduce you to our guests, we got Mr. Never Die with us.
Never Die. Hey, what's going down, JVaz?
Man, chilling. As you can see on the screen, we got Funky Town's own podcaster.
Hey, motherfucking
artist,
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Godfather.
The Godfather.
The Pod God.
The Pod God.
I just fuck with you.
From Funky Town.
All of the above. Keep them coming.
Smoothvega.
Master promoter.
Yeah. Master promoter.
xBValentine's manager. You see how she's getting mad in the back.
She's like, put the camera on me.
That's what I'm saying, bro. She's changed, dog. This New York trip is really just like changed her, dog.
And the hottest female in the game right now, top 5 on my list.
Ooh, he said the
From Georgetown, Texas.
Yo.
xBValentine, what's up? How you feeling?
Feeling good, just been dealing with Diva Smooth over here.
A lot of diva stuff going on.
Hey, so should we jump right into it, though? You said in New York. What's going on with New York?
Yo, you want to talk about it first, or you talk about it first?
Yeah, shit. Honestly, it was a very surreal moment. To those who don't know, we actually got invited by Roc Nation to come out to New York and have a meeting with them and sit down and just kind of, see where we're at. And, I don't know how much I can say. Smooth over there look like, don't be careful with you.
She made a drive just to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? She had a Jay-Z t-shirt on whenever she was walking. I was like, bro, come on. She's already trying to win him over, dog. Nah. So here's the story. Like, I was in a meeting and she got an email and she sends me the text message like, hey, this isn't real, is it? And it was actually an email from Roc Nation. And I was like, I stopped what I was doing. And I was like, okay, let me go back to it. So whenever I left, I started doing my research. I made some calls. And it was real. The thing that was crazy was in classic xB fashion, right? She removed my email off of all her social media platforms. Me being the quote-unquote manager, right? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I ever put them on there.
To be honest.
No, I'm actually linked to all her socials. The only one that I'm not linked to is her website. And they emailed her website. So she got the email. You know what I'm saying? So when I realized that it was real, I was like, hey, click reply all, just loop me in and I'll take over. And that's exactly what we did. We had a preliminary conversation a few weeks back, and then we scheduled a time for us to go out there just to meet with people, you know what I'm saying? Really just to kind of have that interaction. And it was really cool, man. I was excited about it. I think, for her, for myself, all bullshit aside, I know I'm playing around a lot. But, I've been working 20 plus years. She's been working 10 years, you know what I'm saying? So, it's been a long time coming for both of us. It's the culmination of just being able to say, we're working towards something. People are recognizing it, and for us to be in a space like New York, Roc Nation, the prestige that's there, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. It was a great feeling. It's a day that I will never forget. I'm sure that I speak for her myself, you know what I'm saying, when I say that. But also I think what I took from all of this was you just never know who's watching.
Yeah, facts.
You never know who's watching because we played around, and I know I called the show the other day, and I was like, fuck that list. But by the way, fuck
It's
that
still
list.
fuck that list, though. We still fuck that list.
You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can make a list, right?
Not every-
You know what I'm saying? But no,
Or should.
No, truth be told, I'm invested into the artists that I work with. I'm invested into the people that I care about. I'm invested into people that I work with altogether. So if I'm working with her, I want to see her get the recognition that I feel that she's due. I know that those lists aren't really any, they don't equate to anything in the long run, right? In terms of, but it's still a head nod. Like, yo, I see you doing your thing. I see you doing your thing. Salute, salute, salute. And I just don't know how someone that considers themselves a Texas influencer or marketing could just completely overlook it. But see, that just goes to show that what certain people do, I think, I was having this conversation with an artist the other day. I said, sometimes there's this idea of the way things need to be and the ways that they should be and the way that, the belief that this is how it looks to get to the next point. And maybe, just maybe, it's not meant to be that way. And there's another way to do it. And another way to do it. Which there is, obviously, right? Because, Mr. Never Die, even though he's migrated to Houston and he sold us out over there in the DFW.
Hey, it's on my arm. I'm with it forever.
He changed his name and everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But no,
Aren't you the one that told me to do that?
no, I was saying,
there's only room for one manager in Dallas. Move.
No, he was telling me, bro, like Post Malone, someone from Dallas, like, he was actually from there, and he was never part of the scene. Man, ain't nobody ever talked about Post in the scene like that. He just, as soon as he figured it out, he left to LA, got his shit moving, and then he popped. So, you know what I'm saying? Certain people aren't just meant to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not happening, and that doesn't mean that you can't have success. So hopefully, that can start showing people that.
So we'll get to the list here in a second. I got a question for both of y'all. So I would like to get a separate answer from each one of y'all. First, you being that I've known you since like 2005, 2006,
True.
and I know
Throw it off, Max.
from an artist. You were an artist, promoter. Now manager, podcaster, everything that you do, man. How does it feel to be able to get this opportunity to be able to work with, xB and bringing her, to visit Roc Nation and see, what the possibilities are?
I mean, it's not even just Roc Nation. It's just being able to take the years of hard work, the years of experience, the years of doing everything that you mentioned, right? Like, because you talk about being a rapper, you talk about being a promoter, you talk about being a social media manager, a graphic designer, a web designer, an A&R, a producer, and then obviously going into management. Like, my backstory. Me and him have known each other since 2005. We met on a website forum.
Dope House Forum.
It was dope. I think you had your own too. You had your own. It was like a throw it off, and there was a few other guys that were on there that I met. And it was cool, man. It was a really cool time for us. We were all trying to figure it out. But I think that, like through it all, like you just never really know. Like I've been asked, you know that, bro. I've been asked by a lot of people to manage them, and I've been asked by a lot of people to work with them, and I used to get offended by it. But as I started getting older, something I shared with Never Die was like, hey, we attain all this knowledge and all this experience, like at some point or another we have to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Because that's the next chapter of our careers. That's the next chapter of our legacy. Like, I'm solidified where I'm from. I say that confidently. I'm not trying to play around when I talk about.
Hey, Hall of Fame.
Say
something. Not everybody can be Hall of Fame in their city.
I've won awards. I've done a lot of like management work for a lot of the guys that I work with back at home. But in addition to that, I've also played a big part behind the scenes for a lot of guys that people don't even realize. And mentoring people. So to have an artist at some point that I finally get an opportunity to go, let me take all that years of experience and knowledge and apply it to somebody. Yeah, man, it feels really cool, man. It feels good, and it feels great to see it working, because it's not always, it doesn't always work, and it's okay if it doesn't work, but I think in this case, like it seems to be working, it seems to be going in the right direction. I'm proud of what she's doing, even though she's a diva, Doug. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Always with that diva.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even though she doesn't really appreciate it, like, it's dope. It's dope, and it's cool because, like when you see yourself being a difference maker and changing somebody's life, not just their career, their life.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling, but there's still a lot more to be done.
I mean, I heard you talking about it, but bro, you a fucking gatekeeper.
Hey, number 6 on that list.
You open a lot of doors for people. You know what I'm saying?
I was number 6 on that list.
There is a list of
there's a gatekeeper
yeah.
list. I was number 6. I was actually the only Mexican on there. The only people in front of me were like Carl Crawford and like Bebe and stuff like that. But ain't no Mexican on there. So
Yeah.
just so you know. What you were saying? No, you were talking about that real quick. I'm sorry.
Keep praising me. Go ahead. Don't stop there, bro. Come on.
Mr. Never Lie is full effect. You know what I mean?
And xB, I wanted to ask you the same thing because, and this is something that I've never said on the podcast, but I thought it, to me, is fucking dope as hell. Because I remember I ran into you. You popped up on my Twitter feed, and I was like, "Hey, this girl's dope." So I followed you, and I think I even tagged you at one point on one of her posts.
Maybe.
Yeah,
And then,
he's the diva here, I'm telling you.
You start talking about you're going to sign somebody, and I'm like, I wonder who it is. So then when he finally tags you as he's going to sign you, I'm like, bro, what are the chances? Like, I ran into her music not that long ago. This is dope as hell. And then, finally got to meet you, and you know how I feel about you. I think you're cool as hell and just, a humble ass person.
Thank you.
No, but and then you talked about it on your Facebook page. On your social media period, how this is a dream of yours to be able to have these opportunities to be able to reach the success that you want with your music. So throughout these years that you've been making music, how does it feel to finally have the opportunity to be able to meet these people and the possibilities that they're on the table now? Talk to us about the whole experience of going out there and having these opportunities for yourself.
I mean, honestly, like, I think the best way to explain it, like, I genuinely feel blessed just because it's something that I've really wanted to do for so long. I think, like, to me, like, music has always just been like just straight up passion. Like, I do it because I love it, and I never wanted anything out of it. I just, like, I feel like it just kind of happened on its own where I was just getting all these opportunities, and now, like, I'm watching it all unfold because, like, I really just made music because, to me, that was, like, my form of venting. Like, I felt better after making a song. I was just like, if I was having a bad day, I'd go and write and then record, and I'm like, bet, I feel better. And I think that was, like, that was the best thing I could have gotten out of it. So all this is just a plus to me because I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I get to do what I love and, like, put it out to the world, and it's like I'm seeing what I'm getting back from it in a way that I never thought I could do it. And I think, like meeting Smooth and everything showed me that there's so much more that can be done that I have never even realized on my own. Like, I think I kind of limited myself on how far I could get. I was like, I never even thought about Grammys or, like, none of that. Like, I've just never really cared for it to that extent. And I think now, like, when I met him, I was like, wow, it's actually possible. Like, even just sitting in the Roc Nation, like, walking through the building, I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm really here. Like, I remember I would just daydream about the possibility of it, but I didn't ever think it would happen. And now that it is, I'm just like, damn, like I just got to go harder now. Like, I think something about me is, like, I'm really my hardest critic. Like, I'll send songs to Smooth where I'm like, he's probably not going to like it. He'll be like, yo, that shit's fire. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay, bet. Like, I guess so. And and I think that's why, like, I love doing this so much is because I'm genuinely never satisfied. And I want to keep seeing how far I can get. And I want, like, I'm excited to see, like, the growth because I know I'm not the best I can be yet. Like, I feel like I'm excited to see the kind of artist I'm gonna be 3 years from now. I'm like, damn, I wanna meet that version of myself, but I also know I have to work towards that. Yeah. So I think, like, he's a perfect coach to have, really, more than anything. Like, I want.
It's about time I got a compliment. No, it's so funny. She talks about the Roc Nation. I don't want to cut her off, but it was so interesting that whenever we went back to the hotel, we just so happened to know a photographer that was in town. Shout out to my man Stilo, right? Shots by Stilo, I think, is what he goes by on Instagram. He happened to be in town, and so we were going to go do some photos for her while he was there. And we were talking about it on the way over there. I was like, man, you know what's so crazy? She was telling me, like, it was just a gesture of whenever we got to the building. You got to remember, we flew in, like, around 12, give or take, and then we got to Manhattan close to 1, and the meeting was at 3, so we had 2 hours to burn. So we went to go get something to eat, but we can only sit there for so long. So we went back to the building. We sat in front of the building for like an hour. But we had already walked by the building a few times, and then finally we change and we go right in front of the building like 15 minutes before we're supposed to have it. And there's this guy like in a suit, like the fucking CIA motherfuckers in the front, right? And the guy goes, yo, I've seen y'all a few times now. And I was like, yeah, we're here to have a meeting. And he's like, what's y'all's names? And then she says, xBValentine and Smoothvega. And I'm like, this guy doesn't know who.
So you are a diva.
Man, I didn't know he gave our government name. I thought, I don't know.
I was like, they don't know who I am. Like, imagine the Secret Service got the Godfather of Fort Worth. But I was like, Lorenzo and Bianca. And he's like, we've been waiting for you. And it was just, when he said that, she told me, like, it made her feel a certain way. Because they were very attentive as they walked us in, and she's in the lobby. They're catering to her. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But it just made her feel good to know, like, this is how far the music has taken her.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. For me, I was just kind of like lost in the moment. I was like, oh, I can't wait to get photos. I can't wait to get videos.
As there was a big old sign that said no photo or video on it.
As soon as we walked in, I was like,
hey, that's important though that y'all showed up early. I remember Michael Watts on your podcast. I was telling G-Lo this the other day, and he was talking about how when you're in New York, people from Texas have a bad. Oh shit! I ain't gonna say that. Have a bad tendency to be late.
Never late.
So it's important to be on time.
Every episode, somebody's late.
We were supposed to start 45 minutes ago, guys. Mr. Dev and I decided to show up late, so.
But that's important, so everybody knows out there. Get to shit on time, so that way you don't miss opportunities.
It's funny you preaching that, but okay.
No, but it's
I've been late twice. Calm down.
But
This is episode number 3, so you're good.
it was cool, man. It was cool. I take that from what she mentioned right now because, you're in that moment, and it's like we're not gonna harp on that because there's so much more.
Yeah.
A meeting.
Yeah.
That's happened, but in that case, it's just like, okay, yeah, this is paying off.
Hey, and look at the confidence it's giving her now. You know what I'm saying? Just like you were talking about.
I think it was definitely kind of like a reassurance to me, like letting me know, like, hey, there's people that are a big deal out there that are watching you and actually like what you're doing. So to me, that's like, okay, I like got to get on my shit, like, because for a long time, like I said, it was all passion. I think I'm starting to shift it into more like, okay, like this is what I'm doing forever. Like I got to make sure I get, like tunnel vision on this shit.
Something you said earlier, it reminded me of a post I saw on Instagram. You said that you just envisioned doing it for the love of it, never thought of the Grammys and stuff. And now you're like, the possibilities are endless. It reminded me of a post that I saw that said when making $20,000 a week seems impossible until you hang out with people that make $20,000 in a day.
Yeah.
And then the possibilities are like, damn, I can really do all this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that just speaks to the importance of being around the right team.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And so when you said that's the first thing that came, to mind to me.
And the last thing I'll say about that meeting was they talked about culture in the meeting, and they talk about like you come over here, you're part of a winning culture. This is known for winning.
Yeah.
So you inherit that culture, and I would like to believe in my own way that there was a culture that was established with what I was doing, and there was a culture within the people that we work with, because people look at xBValentine and man, like just so you know, I called JVaz the other day. I was like, whenever we do this interview, I really want to give as much game as possible, and I really want to share as much knowledge as possible for the viewers. If it's Happy P, hey, Happy, we're about to put you on game. You know what I'm saying? Even though you know the game probably better than all of us, right? But no, I mean, like, there's a lot of people that I feel that could really benefit from hearing, like, knowledge and wisdom, because at the end of the day, like, we should always be students first. You know what I'm saying? And the moment that we feel like we know it all, then, like I always say, you stop growing, you stop going,
Yeah.
I've known both of you guys for a very long time, which makes this experience so cool to me because, I've known him for a very long time, and whenever he was getting back into the rapping stuff and really going back, like, let me get my catalog up, I helped him. I helped him as much as I could, and you had success in what you were doing. And I saw the confidence. Like, I just saw his confidence because at the time he wasn't confident. Yeah. I've seen you go through what you've gone through, and I've seen you maintaining, last year you talked about openly wanting not to go forward. And man, I'm burned out.
So fuck this podcast game.
Yeah, like fuck this podcast game. All these other bitch ass podcasts is taking my spot. Fuck these podcasts. And he was like, nah, but even with me, like, I've been open about, my journey into podcasting. It was a result of my friendship with him because we had did an interview with Busy Bone. And then after that interview, that was the first time we had ever really had, like, you had a really big guest and we tag teamed it. And then I was like, you know what, I need to do this for my own mental health because, we all go through those phases of like, whether or not we question ourselves. It's normal, but when we talk about culture, it's like, the manager-artist dynamic. There's I've been asked to manage talent before, right? And there's been talent that are well-established that have vocalized to me like, I ask, if I set something up for you, how can I tell the public that I set it up? Just the question, right? Because I would like to get credit for what I do because that's my work. I take pride in my work, as I should. Like, I play around a lot, but when it's all said and done, like, I just want to be able to be recognized for what I was able to contribute to music, what I was able to contribute to the world, and most importantly, what I was able to contribute to the talent I work with. So it's important to get your credit. If you produce a track, like, let people know I produced the track. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever the case may be. So that specific person was like, well, you got to let us do it for you. You can't be the one to do it. And I think there was kind of an undertone of like, you still want to be the star. You still want to be known, right? And it's like, no, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're missing the point because I've learned one thing is the one thing I've learned is that if you're gonna wait for someone to give you credit, you'll never get the credit.
Yeah.
You will never get that credit. Nobody will ever give you that. So you got to go out there and you got to get it because what happens, God forbid, if that talent stops or if something happens, you want to be able to make sure that you're still able to continue forward and people are aware that, hey, that guy's the reason why that happened, right?
Yeah.
So, all that said, like, that was the battle for so long. The battle for me was like, yo, do people even realize who I am and what I can do? And then, now we're at a point where with xBValentine, like there hasn't really been like a manager artist tandem, except Mr. Never Die. You know what I'm saying? Never mind. I take it back. Right?
Oh, I was waiting over here. I was waiting.
No, but it hasn't been really like an artist manager duo where you see two personal brands, and like a lot of times because artists want it to be all about them. And then managers aren't known to have a personal brand. And to me, it's like, I'm not threatened by her success and she's not threatened by mine. If I have something good going on with my festival or my promotional company or my podcasting, the more that the brand grows, the more that my personal relationships grow and my resources grow, naturally, I'm going to bring it back.
Hey, we a team. We all eating. We all bringing it back to the camp.
Correct. But not everybody understands that,
Yeah.
and it's a kind of a new concept to a lot of people here. But you'll see people that have had that kind of relationship, artist manager dynamic, but it's very rare. And I think on the outside looking in, it may look like I want to be the star.
Yeah.
But believe me, like I'm already a star. What the
Hey, no, but to what you're saying about the whole getting credit thing, I think. I remember when the whole when I started podcasting, and I'm gonna say this, it's been 5 years, goddamn.
He's been waiting.
Humble for too long.
He's been waiting.
I was the first motherfucker that started podcasting out here, and I know that. I know that for a fact because motherfuckers were talking about what is podcasting. What is podcasting? Is it free? And then I would invite people to be on my podcast, and instead of them being my guest, I'm gonna start my own podcast, the Ghetto Mexican Podcast. Man, shut the fuck up!
He's
like,
name dropping.
And it was like they wouldn't give me the interviews.
He's in rare form.
No, I'm not even. No, but the thing is, I was starting to take it personal to where it was kind of like, why are these people? Then they did an award and they nominated everybody except for the person that was giving them all the fucking history that they've had, which was my podcast. I brought them Fileto, I brought them Shadow, I brought them fucking the documentary with Grimm. And it was like, these are the fucking Mexican rappers that started this rap shit in Houston. And I'm being overlooked. And then two people spoke to me. First, my ex-girlfriend. Shouts out to her because she told me. My ex-girlfriend was like, stop trying to compete with them. Just keep working. And then you told me, just outwork everybody.
Thank you.
And 5 years later, where they at?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Whenever you did your very first podcast, I was probably 2017. I was one of your first guests. If not, I was your first guest. I think we did a phoner.
You were my first guest.
Hey, little known JVaz back there. Hey.
It was called Half Man, Half Amazing.
Yeah, we did an interview.
It wasn't about him. It was about the intro of the show was a man that fought a bear. And then we were talking about it.
And I was the man that fought the bear. The bear was the music industry. But that's what I'm saying. Like we had that, but I saw that you just needed to sink your teeth into something. You were always a creative cat, and I think as creatives, what being creative means to us is not just, doing it for showmanship or not doing it for a cloud or not doing it for the look. A lot of it is to help our fucking mental. Like, you lost your dad last year. That shit wasn't easy. This helped you get through it, and it continues to help you get through it. She talks about her music. It helps her get through whatever she's experienced. You've gone through a lot. This helps you get through it. Podcasting, when I reached out to you, helped me get through a pretty bad period. So it's like, I didn't podcast because JVaz was doing it. You know what I'm saying?
You did. Stop.
You know what I'm saying?
You my son.
I did. He was waiting for it. Look, Dad. You know what I'm saying? No, real shit. I mean,
Are y'all watching this? Are y'all watching this?
I was like, no. A lot of the reason was because it was helping. It was really helping through that time, and as a result, you start realizing, like, bro, you help other people out. So that's when you start noticing, like, man, there's a way bigger purpose in all of this than we even realize.
Yeah.
But to the point about the manager artist situation, like with her, you know, there's a lot of pride there because it's like, you know, I went back to her post, her initial post whenever we announced that she signed the management deal with me. And there was a part in that post, I don't think I really had anything to do with the wording of it other than just promote the singles. Right. And she was like, you know, I'm proud to work with someone that's gonna help me become the artist that I've envisioned myself becoming type stuff, right? Or I think it was somewhere along those lines. And I go back to that and I say, you know, when you watched Hustle, right? You watched Hustle? You haven't watched Hustle? Watch it. I'm Stanley Sugarman and she's Bo Cruz, right? You know, like, you know, he sees the talent, right, at surface and goes, this is a raw talent, man. But if you put this person in the system and you work them and really coach them up, man, they could be something. They could be somebody. I've always kind of found myself like, dude, I had a fucking EPK in 2009. And in my EPK, I'm like, I've always had the heart of an A&R. Bro, I'm fucking 24. And I was talking like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm 37 now. So, like, imagine me talking at 24, having the heart of an A&R. You've seen what I've done with certain artists, you know what I'm saying, and how I've coached those guys up and how I developed those guys and how a lot of talents have had more success with me than other places, right? And that's not singling anyone out. That's a lot of people, right?
For example, who?
JVaz. But you know, with her, it's like there was skill, there was talent. But mind you, bro, skill can always be developed. Talent can be developed. You know what I'm saying? If you've never played basketball a day in your life, if you're coached, eventually you can learn how to dribble, and then you can learn how to shoot. You can't teach the want. You know, that's either something you got or you don't got. I felt that she had the want. It was the little things that I noticed, like she recorded herself. She did her own graphics. She did her own video content. You know, this is me. This is what impressed me. I didn't give a fuck about all that other shit. It was the fact I was like, okay, she does that. And then anytime I would ask her to come to Fort Worth, she lives in Georgetown, Austin area, right? So it's a cool little 2.5, 3 hour drive. I can't get people to drive 15 fucking minutes to come and see me. You know what I'm saying? You guys know, like, damn, bro, you live around the block and you're late. You know what I'm saying? Never die.
I don't like this picture y'all pay me as. I ain't not late.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Nah, but like, it's like you see this artist and it's like, I make jokes out of it, but it's really the truth. Like when I first heard her music, it's like you had these songs that had no real structure. They were just long songs, they were long verses. And I'm not discrediting her. This is just where she was at in her current development. Because at that time, she was self-taught. She didn't have anybody mentoring her, anybody helping her, anybody producing her. So it's like these long verses with like a hook here and a hook there. But it was like, man, these songs are really structured. I didn't know what the ceiling was at first. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna help. And I remember I messaged her. I found the message on my Instagram. It's still there from December of 2020. And the first thing I said is like, I'm gonna make you a better performer. That was my goal, was to make her a better performer before it was to make her a better artist. Because she had the skill. I felt she had the want. She was coming back and forth from Austin to Fort Worth at ease. Like I was like, shit, all right, you know, she's showing everything she needs to show that she has heart. And she has good character up to that point. You know, you don't see any signs of like any red flags of being messy. There's a lot of talent that's just messy. You know, so I didn't get any of that. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go in and start molding this. She's coachable, which is very important in an artist, right? You know, you look for it, it's like, all right. And then we started developing a plan. And then I realized almost instantly, oh, fuck. Like, the ceiling's a lot higher than I realized. And to her credit, she proved me wrong because I was like, oh, you know, we could have regional success. We could do Amanda Perez. You know what she did, right? And then she dropped the record with Baby Bash, and it's like, woo. And the conversion rates were sky fucking high. I'm like, oh, man. This can go. And now I started playing more of a part on the production side. You know, You have me with all these years of experience coming in, putting that knowledge and information and want to see it do greater, do better, enhance it. She already had a producer that was creating the music that she was working with. Probably makes about 70 to 80% of the music that she's creating is produced by her. She already had a system in place. She's already recording herself. Then you bring our engineer on board, Chico. Shout out to my man Chico. And now he's coming in and he's bringing 10, 15 years of, mixing and mastering experience on the post-production side. Now we're making real music. And now we're producing real music. And we talk about the list, which we'll get to right now.
Oh, yeah, that's my next question. Don't you worry. I'm ready for the transition. Don't you worry.
But I saw the list, and there's a lot of talented artists on there.
Fuck that list.
Nah, man, they're all...
There's a lot of talented artists on there.
There's some talented artists on there for sure. But there is a lot of talent, in my opinion, that just, for lack of better words, they're just not produced. And what I mean by that is like there's no real song structure. There's no real direction. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's such a cookie cutter copy paste format right now. It's like, oh, hey, they're doing trap rap. I'm gonna do trap rap, and it doesn't even sound mastered. Like the music doesn't sound full. It doesn't sound complete. And I think when you look at someone like xBValentine, what people don't realize is like it's a team. It's a team effort that's going behind this artist. She's the star player. You have the head coach, you have the assistant coaches, you have everybody creating a system around this player, but we're focusing on the foundational work first. We didn't want to play the YouTube game with everybody. You know what I'm saying? We don't care to be the most viral. That'll come when the music's right. We've all made the mistake. Throw It Off Mex has made the mistake. Eternal, Mr. Never Die, Latin Embassy, we made the mistake. Smoothvega made the mistake of putting out music. Even xBValentine, she talks about 10 years of experience. She was putting out music on SoundCloud for years. And it wasn't yielding the results that she wanted. You want to know why? Because she wasn't ready yet. The music wasn't polished yet. She was still premature. You know what I'm saying? But we're young. We don't know any better. We just want to be heard. But you gotta separate, right now from the right time. You know what I'm saying? And the right time wasn't then.
Yeah.
Now is the right time. Now you're getting final form. Now you're starting to see it come together. And of course, confidence is starting to be there. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to get to is when I saw her, I identified that almost instantly. And then I didn't want her to perform right away. But I started getting promoters that just wanted to butter me up. You know what I'm saying? And there was instant opportunities. And so now we're putting her on stage. Before I felt she was ready to go on stage, but if you see her perform now, it's like she's putting that foundational work together.
Yeah, all that's lessons that we learn.
Yeah, and it's like that's what I'm saying.
That's experience. Nothing beats experience.
Hey, thank you.
Speaking of buttering up,
damn.
Hey, it fit.
No, but I'm saying but I'm saying that foundational work is what's important. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's quick to say man, I do this shit by myself. I do this on my own. It sounds like that shit sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But it's not cool. You know what I'm saying?
It's stressful, as a matter of fact.
It's stressful. It's hard. Most people never figure it out because they do it on their own. They complicate their journey because rather than ask people, hey man, I'm not good in this area, right? I have a pretty prominent Houston rapper that reached out to me 2 days ago. He knows I'm going to be in town. He wants to meet me up tonight. I'll show you off the record. That asked me for help with social media. And this is a prominent artist. And I respect that, though, because that's somebody that wants to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are just like, man, I do this on my own.
One deep, baby.
Shit, I mean, xB used to be the same way. I saw her old interviews talking about, I'll never sign with nobody, man. I'll do this on my own. You know what I'm saying? I'm this, I'm that. And now it's like
I don't know if to believe this or not anymore.
Oh, bro, you be playing.
No, there's really this YouTube interview from Austin that she did have. But she was really kind of anti-establishment.
She'll throw the mic at you stop.
No, I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's funny, but it's the truth. Yeah. But no, it's you want to have a team around you, dog. You really should want that, and I think she could speak to that now. Where have you not seen that difference? I mean, obviously.
As a manager, 100%. You got to know and understand your artists and know how to play your role to help them because that's the forefront of what you're pushing, you know?
I mean, when we go to other cities like California, they don't know who the fuck I am. except the people that seen the interviews, right? But nobody knows who I am. They have no idea what role I play. They think I'm her hype man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I do want to ask something. We talked about, not getting credit or being discredited or what you're talking about. And before we get into my actual question, I just want to talk about how in 2022, why I felt you belong on this list. As of right now, we updated the list here, but as of right now, you've dropped 7 different singles, whether you featured on it or whether they're your singles. And we have the latest one that you just dropped with Angel Sin Throne called Know My Name. You have Double Love that came out with Crystal Poppin a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
You killed that.
You have the feature with M. Dot called Elevate. Oh, yeah, you have a single, New Life, Big Bang with Danny Rod and Xavier. Hate the Way with Chris Perez, fucking legendary, and Gone by Tomorrow. That's 7 different singles you've dropped with pretty dope fucking features. Pretty big deal to work with Chris Perez to begin with. That alone can't be topped on that list. So I'm giving you credit for all these singles, right? And I know I'm probably gonna get a politically correct answer from you, but when we talk about these lists of top Latina artists making noise, when I see the singles that you've dropped in comparison to the singles to some of these people that have dropped or haven't even dropped a single all year, I personally felt disrespected as a friend of yours. It was kind of like, hey man. And before I even said anything, Everdive was like, yeah, they left out XB. I was like,
I ain't gonna lie. G-Love told me that. When I first showed her the list, she was on the list. And she didn't say anything about her position or anything. She said, where's xBValentine?
I appreciate
I was
that.
like, yeah, that's what's up.
So I want, I mentioned all your singles that you've dropped, and we'll talk about them here in a second. Especially want to talk about the experience of working with Chris Perez, and then obviously promote your new single. But I mentioned all those singles because that's a lot of work within half a year. We're not even done with the year yet, right? And this list came out like in May, and you were left out of the list. So I just want to get your opinion, whether it's politically correct or not. How did you feel when you saw this list? Did it bother you at all? Did you feel like...
Honestly, it did not bother me. I think I'm just like, I've never been a competitive person. I always tell Smooth, he's competitive enough for the both of us. Honestly, like, I just never really, like, I only saw it because I started seeing people tag me in it, and I was like, what's
Crystal
going on?
actually tagged you.
Oh, yeah, it was Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal tagged me. I was like, what's going on? And I started, like, seeing a little bit, and I saw it. I was like, oh, like, that's cool. Like, I mean, honestly, like, I didn't really feel anything negatively about it. If anything, I felt like Smooth was more hurt by it than I was. I think I saw it as I saw it as like, okay, well, like, I've done what I've done. I think I just need to make a little bit more noise. Like, that's just what I saw it as. Like, I just gotta work harder, I guess. Like, I think I've done my part. That's one dude too, so I don't want to base off.
There's actually 2 dudes, and I actually messaged both of them. Whenever you had that,
they actually ended up showing me love, so it was all love. Like,
whenever
I wasn't
that photo
mad
of the
at
Roc
it.
Nation, I sent it to them, and I sent them sleepy emojis with it. Like they were sleeping.
Hey, I can't lie. That was great promotion, though. You not being on the list, everybody started tagging you and saying, "Why isn't XB?"
The post after a while.
So if they don't know you, they like, "Who's xBValentine?"
They deleted it, but it was cool. Yeah, they did. Someone still tagged me in it though, so I was like, it's all good. And it's great because I actually met the dude in person. I met him at the GT Garza
Y'all roughed
show.
him up a little bit.
Nah, I met him before the list.
He hasn't posted since.
So I was like, maybe he doesn't know who I am. But then I was like, nah, I met the dude. But it's all good. Like, it's I don't let that type of stuff. Like I said, I do this because I love it. All the other stuff is just extra to me. If I end up on a list, I know like it's not gonna change what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was all love. Like I thought it was cool that like Smooth mentioned it earlier. Like that the fact that there was even 15 Latina females making music in Texas is already dope in itself.
You said 15?
Or how many were
So you felt like you belong in there, right? Because there was only 12.
Oh.
So I see you making space for yourself. Okay, the truth comes out.
It would have been cool,
she just added on to the list. Like,
15. And I'm on the top 3.
But yeah, you're right. I did say that. I said, that's a positive. The fact that you even have female talent being highlighted, what I'm saying?
Oh, facts.
Like, that's some really dope shit because women have struggled so long to get respect in the music game. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
so
I did a post when Cardi B dropped, and I was like, man, I hope that one day we can have a hot-ass Latin Texas artist. And like this. And now there's so many, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't reached that level, but there's so much talent bubbling right now that's going to get to that level.
To that comment, one thing that I really appreciate about xB, and I don't want you to think I'm kissing your ass, because I've even said
Let me
this
tell you
when you were not here.
After the list came out, this fool pops up at the very next event wearing an xBValentine t-shirt.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you know what's funny?
Everything I heard, nothing given. You know what I'm saying?
Love that.
It don't gotta be discussed. Yeah.
I had to pay him $55.
You know what I'm saying?
No free promo.
You know what I'm saying? Hashtag no free promos has been the transition from the JVaz show to the Texas Underground Radar. No free promos. No, but I give you so much credit because, to me, I mean, like I said, I caught heat going after one certain person, but I feel like some of these people were not
like
artists.
I'm going to do a JVaz.
I'm going to go ahead and say Steve Barbie and Carly Corey. I mean, I already said it, so it don't matter now. But
watch our past episodes.
I feel like, I said it on those episodes, but my thing is, those two, especially those two to me, are public figures, right? And the reason I'm talking about giving you credit in comparison to them, the reason they're on that list is because they're going based off. Damn, Steph Barbie, I know you're pregnant and shit, but but she be on her TikTok shaking ass and shit, and this is where all the votes are coming from.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that the buzz that you have is not because you're on TikTok shaking ass. It's not because you're on TikTok doing the things that some of these females are doing. You're straight up just showing your talent. And that's something to respect, especially nowadays. That's why I've always been so high with, when you come up on the show, I'm like, man, I love xB, man. I don't care what nobody says. Like, xB belongs on this list. And my question to you would be, putting the list aside, but how hard has it been, being in this industry where it's now driven by, the dancing TikToks and, not specifically the ass shaking, but fucking the ass shaking and doing all this extra stuff that they do. And then not just being a female artist, but, you do represent for the LGBTQ community. Yeah. And there's still in some spaces where that's not acceptable. Yeah. And it's hard to get through that. So how does it feel to, still be able to get that recognition, even though you're not doing what other people are doing, and you're representing for something that some people are still against?
I think it makes me feel accomplished more than anything, because I always tell Smooth, like, my goal is really, like, I always think back to when I was a little girl, and I always so badly wanted someone that looked like me to look up to, and that was so hard to find. Like, there wasn't a lot of females that looked like me that I could be like, I want to be just like them, and I think that's something that I pay attention to a lot, because, like, I just want to be, like, I'm just me 100%. And, like, I don't really care too much about, like, I always, like, I dress how I dress, and, like, I'm comfortable, and I'm me 100%. And I want...
You're right as fuck, though.
I appreciate
no lie.
you.
I'm like, no lie. Nah, man, hey.
Smooth, people can butter me up, too, man.
Your jersey game on them TikToks, I was like, man, I wish I had that many jerseys. That was fly.
Nah, I think it's just, like, I don't know. There's been certain occasions where I have had young girls come up to me and be like, wow, like there's recently, I think it was at the Unforgiven live show I did in Fort Worth. I had this little girl, man. She was probably like 12 or maybe 13 years old. She comes up to me and she was like, I just want to say thank you. She was like, I just have a question for you. She was like, how did you come out to your family? And I was like, honestly, like, it wasn't easy for me. Like, my parents are Hispanic, and unfortunately, like, I got outed. I didn't get to come out to them on my own. Like, I did have a sibling that ended up telling them without me knowing about it. So it was rough for me, and I told her that. And I was like, but I promise you, like, now my parents, like, love me. They are supportive of my relationship. Like, they're, like, to them, it's just like if I was to be dating a dude. It's normal to them now. And I told her that, and I was like, you just got to give it time. I was like, you're young. I was like, this is something you just got to learn, that the same way you have adapted, they have to adapt too. And at the end of the day, that's your family. They're going to love you regardless. And if they don't, like, there's always going to be people that do. And that's the people you should focus on. And she, like, cried and gave me a hug. And I was just like, I started crying. And I was just like, damn, like, this is what... Like, I didn't realize how much of a difference I can make just by, like, and I didn't really go up on stage and, like, talk about it to that extent. All I did in my last song, the closing song of my set, every time I always go into saying how that's the first song I ever wrote about a girl. And just saying that, just touching on the LGBT just a little bit. And that alone, like, captured that little girl. And, like, that's a moment, like, I was like, damn, like, I'm meant to be doing this for a reason, because there's kids out there that what I need, like, I'm the person I needed when I was growing up, and I just want to be that for other girls. Like, there's no need for me to put on a persona. Like, I want kids to know, like, you can be who you want to be. Like, you don't have to try to look like all these other people. Like, I was a chubby kid all my life. Like, it wasn't until I was 20 years old, I finally started, like, losing weight, and that's, like, I'm still learning how to love myself. And I think spending so much time trying to learn how to do that, like, made me, like, very thankful to, like, be able to just show that to other kids, because it ain't easy, especially if, you know, you are the LGBT and you're young. Like, I was so in denial my whole life that I was miserable because I did not want to deal with that. And that's hard to, like, really force yourself to not be yourself. Yeah. And I think that's why I want kids to feel like, yo, be you. Like, who cares? Like, it's important for you to feel happy. Like, if someone's not going to accept who you love, then what's the purpose of even wanting their love? You know what I mean? And I think that was just important for me to, like, let other kids know, like, just be you. And I think that's all I want to do.
You really did go to the school of Smoothvega. But to her point, man, like, that's part of the reason why, you know, when people ask, like, you know, why did you work with xB? Like, that's the reason. Like, when people get to know her, she's naturally to herself. She's naturally introverted. There's nothing wrong with being introverted, right? Like, it's her personality. She's not a social butterfly in the sense of, like, you know, look at me, look at me, look at me. That's like, I'm more of a self-promoter. Not everybody could take that type of role on. But you see, there's a certain level of maturity there, and a certain level of, like there's layers. So that's what I like to call it. Like, every artist has to tell a story. Like, you want the public to be invested into you as an artist. Like, what type of artist do you want to be? Do you want to be an artist for the moment, or do you want to be an artist that has a legacy, right? And you know as well as I know, there's a lot of artists, and there's people, you know, on social media that'll be like, man, it's all about hits, it's all about hits, it's all about hits, and hit records this and hit records that. I mean, look, man, with all due respect, you know, no disrespect to Vanilla Ice, but Vanilla Ice has had one of the biggest hit records of all time. He still makes a living off of this song to this day. But there's nobody in this generation or the last generation that grew up and said, man, I really want to be like Vanilla Ice. Like, nobody said that. But he had a hit record.
Yeah.
So, like, how important is the hit record, right? Because you could look at someone like a Kendrick Lamar who just dropped an album. I don't think there's a song that's on that album that's probably going to be killing the radio, that's going to chart #1 on Billboard. But you know what? Like, the world stopped when he dropped his album because he has impact.
Yeah, what he's saying is so real, and people need to hear.
He has impact, man. J. Cole has impact. Tupac had impact. Yeah. Eminem had impact. You know, I want xBValentine to be an artist that has impact, because those are the artists that really last. You know what I'm saying? Everybody here, man, they come in, they cut, man, I'm like, yo, they leave as fast as they come in. They come in fast, they're going to leave fast. The longer it takes you to get there, the longer you're going to stay there. And to the point about the list, like, you know, she could sit here and say I'm competitive, and I am. I'm not, naturally,
we know.
Naturally, naturally, I am competitive. You know, I think I got a blue check. You know what I'm saying?
Verified, bitch.
I waited to throw that out there.
He said, talk to me nice.
Talk to me nice. Verified Vega. All right. No, like, as much as I could be competitive, the truth is, when it comes to the music, the only person that she should be competing with is herself. And that's not just saying that, because most people, like, no one's gonna be better at being you than you. You know that. Like, it's you're going in your own lane. It's good to, like, know what your counterparts are doing, just to kind of get a pulse. But the truth is like, what's meant for you is meant for you, and you can never run somebody else's race. We talk about all that foundational work a little while ago about, oh man, you know, getting the music to where it needs to get to, and where other artists are in their development. Man, I'm not even knocking them, bro, because at any given time, somebody's life can change.
Facts.
And now the same people you were looking, not even down on, but kind of looking like, oh, they're not there yet. They may eventually get there, and then they might eventually surpass you. And there's a lot of talents, you know, and just to conclude on the list, there's a lot of talents like Wavy Celine. Like, I'm high on Wavy Celine. I think she's good.
Yeah,
she didn't get acknowledged on that list. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she's young. She's only gonna get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like,
oh yeah, she's one of the rawest talents I've ever met, for real.
She's 19. That's crazy to me.
She was 17 when I first met her.
That's crazy to me. But there's no such thing, to quote Renaissance, there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all Mexican. There's never been an artist in the history of music that makes music for everybody, right? Like, when fucking Elvis Presley or, was out. He wasn't on, fucking, or let Tupac, but Tupac, I'm gonna say that. He wasn't on the rock stations. He wasn't on the pop station. He wasn't on the country stations. His music wasn't for everybody by definition.
Yeah.
So her music is meant for her audience. You know what I'm saying? And we need more representation. We need more female representation. We need more Latina representation. We need more, someone that can empower the people. Like now you're talking about impact. Now you're talking about these kids that are looking up to you and you're their example. Now you have purpose. That's way deeper than a hit record.
Yeah.
That's way deeper than anything.
We trying to build a culture out here, man. We trying to see everybody shine, win.
For sure. And I'll conclude. Whenever I interviewed SPM, I taped the conversation off the record. And me being the fucking master strategist that I am, I filmed a conversation I had with him after I showed him xBValentine's song. He had no idea I was recording him. And I just pulled out my phone and I recorded him. I was like, hey, so what do you think about that song of xBValentine that I just played for you? And he says, and I quote, I think she's the best Mexican-American female rapper that I've heard thus far. He said that, right? I taped it, I sent it to her because I just wanted to send her like, hey, look, I played SPM your song. Cool, right? I didn't think nothing of it, you know what I'm saying? And I certainly didn't expect him to say that. And then when he said that, I was like, fuck it, I'm making a meme out of this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I did. And I posted it on my TikTok the other day. Shit has 30,000 views. And everybody on there is talking about Snow the Product. And everybody's talking bad about her. And I'm like, why are y'all doing that? No. Like I know, I'm just saying, because I want to put this into perspective. Like, why are y'all doing that?
These people can't get. I'm telling you, bro. Like, just mean to cut you off, but Snow the Product fans are like the Dope House faithful. You cannot give credit to nobody else because they're gonna come back and say, "Well, he's not better than SPM."
Well, you know what?
And now it's like she's not better than Snow the Product.
Well, you know what I compare
Fucking
that to?
clowns.
I compare that to, I'm not gonna say that.
And I like Snow the Product, but for the record,
No, I would say you have a song with her. Throw it off next.
I do.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Most watch video, 260,000.
Don't get it twisted.
Right.
No, but like I was analyzing it because I'm really trying to read people's behavior. Everything's a case study to me. I'm trying to be an observant, and I'm seeing people like talk shit about her, like talking shit about XB, like she did something wrong because somebody stated their opinion as if
Somebody gave her credit for something.
Yeah, like his opinion's not even that important to us. Like it's cool. We appreciate the gesture. I'm posting it because I understand that there's an audience that cares about this person. Shit, if motherfucking Baby Bash or whoever else said it, I would post it too. You know
You had posted something that Baby Bash and MC Magic has said about the new single.
Yeah. They fuck with it, man. And that's the cool thing. Like I said, there's a lot of artists that are behind closed doors have told her some really, really cool and respectful things. But when I saw that, I was reading the comments, and some of them are getting a little ugly. I'm like, man, like, dog, there's no need for that. There's room for plenty of people.
Yeah, facts.
To like, nope. There's like, think about when we were younger. Like, we look at CD books, turn the page. It wasn't just one artist. There was multiple artists. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
You know what the Snow the Product faithful and the Dope House faithful have done to me?
I don't know.
They've made me feel like they're the Cowboy fans. Damn. You start to hate them because of their fans. Like, I ain't got nothing against the Cowboys, but it's like, fuck that team because their fans are so annoying.
Hey, bro, I'm a Cowboys fan. Relax.
And that's how I feel. That's how I feel about, you see what I'm talking about? That's how I feel about Snow the Product fans. And it's nothing against Snow the Product or SPM because I grew up being a huge SPM fan to this day. But the fans make it hard to continue to like them because it's like, bro, chill out. There's room for so many other artists.
Well, I think for me, when I was reading the comments, I was just like, man, like, it's interesting. But I also
fuck the Cowboys. He's like, let's go, XB. He walks out.
Both of us are Cowboys fans.
Oh, hell. Oh, now he claims Dallas. Stick to the Texans, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I never played the Texans. You know
what I'm saying? No, but like I just felt like it was like weird, dog. I was like, yo, man, why is everybody so passionate about like putting her down for that reason? But it's cool. Like I get it. And to Snow the Product's credit, like she earned that position to be viewed as
she worked hard for that.
The number one undisputed Latina rapper champion of all time, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. If that, I don't
Official
know.
title.
I mean,
Give about Smoothvega.
No, she's the female girl. There we go. That's the female. That's a proper term, right? Especially by the public. You've earned that, but like, we're never gonna be able to see and give new voices and like a chance to shine if we carry that mentality. Like I get it, and I share this analogy all the time. I said, bro, Canelo Alvarez is doing his thing. He's putting on for our fucking culture. He's putting on for our people. God damn it, we understand he is not Chavez. Why are we always bringing up Chavez?
People always bring up this guy.
Yeah, like, yo, Canelo's cool, but he ain't Chavez. Like, bro, nobody said he was. They didn't even fight in the same weight class. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not even the same type of artists. Like, let's give people an opportunity. And we never want to be, you know, I never want to carry the mentality.
Another product school, but is she Selena? No.
So,
Jordan or LeBron?
dude, that's crazy, man. It's crazy that you mentioned Jordan and LeBron because I feel like
It's a matter of fact.
this generation is so, like, everybody's generation wants to believe their generation is the generation.
Yeah.
So people that grew up on Jordan will to the death fight you and say Jordan's the greatest of all time, which in my opinion he is the greatest of all time. This generation is like, yo, he played against plumbers, he played against fucking Uber drivers, yo, LeBron's the greatest, like, and they believe that. I'm not mad at that, but it's like, man, like, why can't they just both be great?
Yeah, thanks.
With that being said, quit talking about it.
XB, I want to talk about your latest single.
Yeah.
Confused me at first because the video y'all put out 2 days before, it says stream now. I'm like a dumbass on iTunes.
Well, my bad. So I don't think Smooth noticed because we sent it in a group chat and he posted it on his.
Oh,
and
okay.
Me and Angel recorded it to post on the day it was going to release. And I think it was just like miscommunication.
Yeah.
So that was our bad.
But either way, it's a dope ass vibey, like wavy summer track. It feels like.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback are you getting? Should we expect a music video for this single, or is this just a single that you're gonna give us the audio version and keep it moving?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, the feedback's been great. Everyone's really liking it. I had a lot of like high school friends hit me up about it. Actually, they were like, "Yo, like this song is so good. Like we need more like this," because it was a little different than what I put out. But I don't know. I'd be down to shoot a music video. I kind of already like envisioned it in my head because it's such a summer vibe, you know. And it was kind of funny. So my girlfriend actually said this would be a really good song to use for Tinder ads. You know? I was like, oh,
Hey, you can do the video like
Tinder, if you're watching.
I was like, damn, that's smart though. It makes sense.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
I love that song, bro. It's actually one of my favorite songs. I take a lot of pride in that one because, like, that was a song that I envisioned kind of piecing them together and R in it. So it was dope, man. It was a good song. And also, like, where she's at as she evolves as an artist, as she progresses as an artist. Like I tell Bree, challenge your sound, like, challenge XB sound, because if we leave it up to XB, every song's gonna sound like I'm in love, I'm heartbroken.
Bring some bars too.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, always on that WW shit.
Nah, I'm playing like it, but it's like naturally, like it could get redundant.
Like double up,
Yeah.
killed it. We'll talk about
That was
double
on.
up.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, that was dope record too. But like that's what I'm saying. Like you get to a point where you cannot become predictable at all. Once you start coming out, you cannot be predictable. Double Up, Know My Name are two completely different type of records. And I will say this: very few artists can do either one of those records, let alone both.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's challenging the sound. That's going a step further, and there's still more of like evolving the sound. It's just about trying to push the limit and being like, we want her to become a full-fledged recording artist.
Yeah.
I like that song about it. Angel called me. She's actually gonna be in Texas for like a week or two.
Oh shit.
She's gonna be in Austin.
I thought she was in Texas,
She
man.
lives in LA.
She's
so
from San Antonio, right?
She lives in LA, but she's from San Antonio. But she's gonna be in Austin. She's gonna be in San Antonio. She's gonna be in Dallas. I'm like, man, maybe I could do something, but we'll see.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Sorry,
I fuck with Angel.
I like that song.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
It's a dope song. It's real popular. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Then I wanted to talk about, obviously we just mentioned Double Up.
Yeah.
We felt like you killed that verse. We felt like just
Sad.
Crystal, you my boo and all.
Sad.
But
He's buttering up to her. Budo Poppin is into the
You know what I'm saying?
conversation.
Shouts out to Crystal Poppin, you know what I'm saying? Nah, but I feel like you just outshined her verse on that one. And again, nothing against Crystal. I love Crystal, but here as as a collective again, we felt like damn, XB just went in there and murdered that fucking verse. and we're thankful we got a music video for that. So I want to compliment you on that, and then I just want to ask you, it's an older single that you put out with Chris Perez. Hate the Way is what it's called. I think it came out earlier this year.
Yeah, it did.
And just want to talk about the experience of working with somebody like Chris Perez. That it's not something you get to do. You know, not just any artist can come out here and work with Chris Perez. And you know, shouts out to Smoothvega for making shit like that happen. But I want to talk about your experience of being able to work with somebody like that.
Honestly, it was probably my most surreal feature. I think because it was the first time my parents knew who I was doing a feature with, besides Bone Thugs.
Yeah.
But at least my dad. My dad had no idea who Bone Thugs were. But and it was super dope because one time I was literally about to go to sleep. And Smooth calls me. He's like, I'm about to put you on three-way. I was like, all right. I was like,
Oh yeah, I remember.
I was like, I had no idea who was gonna be on three-way, and I just hear Chris yo. He's like, it's Chris. And he's like, I just want to let you know, I'm gonna get the song done for you. He's like, I don't want you to think I forgot about you. He's like, I just want to call you myself and let you know. And I was just I ran to my mom's room, and I was like, Mom, I was like, mute your TV, and I'll put it on speaker. And my mom's like, what? I was like, it's Chris. So I'm talking to Chris Perez, Selena's husband. She starts freaking out, and she pulls out her phone. She just records the whole conversation. So she has that whole conversation on
That's dope as
video
hell.
camera, and it was just cool because I've never seen her get so excited like
Yeah.
that. And she was like, "What is he telling you?" He's gonna play the guitar on one of my songs, and I muted him as I was telling her this. And then he's like, "Yeah, it was just crazy to think he took time out of his day just to call to let me know he's gonna do the song."
Yeah.
And that was I was just tripping out. He didn't even have to do it in the first place.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And I was just he wanted to just tell me himself. And he was so nice, such a nice dude. Even when we were in New York, Smooth told me that he had.
He called me the next day, bro.
Yeah.
He called me the next day. He's like, man, you did tell me we were gonna be in New York. I shot xBValentines at Roc Nation. He called me and told me, he's like, you should have told me, bro. He's like, we could have met up for lunch. I was like, I didn't know you were in New York. He's like, I live out here. I was like, I thought you lived in San Antonio. He's like, well, I live out here too. I was like,
I got two houses.
I was like, all right, cool, Chris, let me know. But forming that friendship and relationship, see, that's the thing about this music game, this industry, as they call it, right? If you have good relationships, man.
Relationships are everything.
I keep seeing that on Facebook too. Relationships will get you in places money can't.
Man, it's more important than money because it's its own form of currency. And you look at all the people we talked about, Bash, we talked about Paul. These people, you were there whenever we did the stuff with Paul. When we did the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Paul, Bash, Bone Thugs, Westside Boogie, Bella. You know what I'm saying? Krista Poppin, all these artists, GT Garza, AJ Hearns, Angel Central. We've worked with a lot of the prominent people. Not only here, but also we've worked with some other prominent legacy acts as well, and it was all done by design to bring awareness to the brand, enhance your skill, still sharp and still right. You rap on a song with Bone Thugs and Harmony, you can't half step, and you'll get exposed if you do half step. Yeah, shit's cool, but shit wasn't that good. You know what I mean? But these people have all done the bulk of that work for little to nothing. And I mean, the majority of them have done it for nothing, just because they want to see her win, whether that's based off of the relationship I have with them and the years of experience that I've had with working with those guys. She was in the studio with Royce the 5'9" just a few weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? Royce was nominated for a Grammy last year for Best Rap Album of the Year, you know what I'm saying? Fully produced and recorded and all that by him. It's all relationship based, bro.
But that's why it's important to do good business too. Your name means everything. Don't be out here doing fuck business trying to get a quick check, because that'll fuck your shit up forever, man. That's why you have longevity in this game, because you do business right.
Thank you, Never Die, and I appreciate that because I knew that's exactly what you were gonna say, and I appreciate that because I do want to take this time to really address the fact that when you're in a position where people know you become polarizing. For better or worse, people have an opinion on you.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people that are gonna say bad shit about you.
Oh yeah, facts.
Ah man, he's shady, he's this, he's that. And whether or not people admit it, we could say we're unfazed, we're unbothered. But that shit, sometimes you wake up to that, you're like, man, goddamn, I don't want to hear that shit. Yeah. I don't want to feel that way.
Especially when it's somebody that you show love to.
Or even
I got dissed on a track.
You did? Yeah. Welcome to the club.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just a podcaster.
Nah, but real shit. No, it's not even as. You would say, yeah, it bothers you when it comes from some people but sometimes it bothers even more when it's from people that have no idea who you are and have never had a conversation with you, because you don't even have the proper information to even make that assessment. You know what I'm saying? So, there has been that reputation of like, yo, man, he's bad business. And nobody fucks with him. Nobody does shows with him. And there was an artist actually before I worked with xBValentine that I was kind of like not managing, but I was kind of like, I consult. Let me tell you something. I will never work with I won't work with an artist if I don't know them for an extended period of time. There's nothing you can do to like I don't care how fucking talented you are. If I don't know you, I'm not working with you. Because that's like a long-term marriage or relationship. You're not going to go into a relationship with someone you don't know.
Yeah.
People do that and then it falls apart really quick because it was an attraction, but it wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, point that I was going to make was this fucking chick tells another chick, right, hey, you work with him? Nobody's going to work with you. This is about me. And I was like, what? And I was confused because I thought I was cool with the person. I was like, wow. And I'm such a delayed person, bro. Like, you say something about me 7 months later, I'm like, oh, that's what he meant. And that's just I don't know if it's just because I'm constantly just focusing on the thing in front of me. I don't take time to look to my left, to my right. But it's good to have self-awareness. And yeah, bro, there's been people that have said, like, I've done bad business, but I'm like, man, if anything, her progression, her career, and not only her career, but also the stuff that I've been able to do and go through and continue to do with the interviews or with the shows is like, if you were bad business.
Yeah, you wouldn't have those relationships that can make that shit happen.
Those things will not be possible. And historically, if history has taught you anything, is that I've been around for a long time and I'm still here. Pretty good chance I'm going to stick around. You know what I'm saying? So, like, instead of discrediting, take time to, like, be like, yo, man, like, how do you do that? It's just nature, man. People are just, I don't want to say people are haters. They're just, like, they don't know what they don't understand.
Yeah. Being that you're having this much success right now with XB and everything you guys got going on, do you plan on signing anybody on? And should we expect this at some point soon?
I'll never say never. Die.
Just did twice.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't have any immediate plans. There's a lot of people that I like. There's a lot of talent that I like. There's people that aren't even out. Like I find a lot of like fulfillment in mentorship, and I feel a lot of fulfillment in helping young talent out, just kind of help find themselves because I didn't have that. To her point,
facts.
Like, you got to be the change in the world that you want to see. So there's a lot of talent that I'll say that I coach behind the scenes that I don't ever tell people about. A lot of people that don't even know. Some of those talents are not out yet. Some of those talents are out. I don't know what the future holds, but I think it would take something probably, I don't want to say like big to do it, but it would just have to be the right time. It's all about timing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's talent, a lot of talent, man. Like I said, I mean, and honestly, like, bro, if you want the truth, I'm managing a lot of talent right now that I just don't have the title with.
Yeah.
I just don't want the title because I don't want the responsibility. It's a commitment. And then I've had to learn a lot about myself working with her. Because you learn pattern of behaviors. Like, okay, what's gonna motivate you? What's not gonna motivate you? How are you gonna communication? Like, how do you communicate certain things? And are we like, what if you're not doing what I want you to do? You know what I'm saying? And like, you learn those things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, as you learn those things, like, man, I have to relearn that with somebody else.
Yeah.
To work. But I would say that, yeah, I'm sure there is. It has to be a challenge too. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to just work with hip hop artists. Like, if you tell me right now, man, you have the opportunity to work with a rock band or something like that, like, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
That's like, man, I want to show my musical genius. I don't want to show myself as just, oh, you're a great promoter and you're a great rapper and you're great in the Latin circuit. Like, no, I want to be able to be like, no, motherfucker, I'm a musical genius.
Yeah.
Let me put that to work.
Since this guy is who he is, what's been the hardest part of working with him as your manager and just working with him, period?
I wouldn't say there's anything really hard about it. I think if anything, he challenges me more than I've ever been challenged. And I think that's just something I needed. I think I was real comfortable doing things the way I was before. And he's really like helped me like push myself further than I thought I could. And I think, besides him being a diva all the time, you know.
Yellow M&M's only.
Nah, but like for real, I really like. I don't think people really realize how selfless he is. Like he really has done a lot for me that he didn't really have to do, and I think, like honestly, like he changed my life and he put me in a position in my career where I was able to like really thrive and like really do things that I didn't even realize I was capable of doing. And his like belief in me, like I had a lot of self-belief, but just to an extent. And he really showed me like, nah, like you can really do anything you want. You just got to work even harder to get it. And he taught me like, he's just on me about things that I need to be like pressured on, you know, like anytime he's like, hey, TikTok, he'll like blow up my phone and be like, you need to be doing this. And I don't get me wrong, there's times where I'm like, God damn, like this dude is like, but then like I know I need that though, because if not,
he tells
I'm
you
not
what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Exactly. And I think we all need somebody like that, especially when it comes to like our careers and like the things that we really want to accomplish. Like we all need to be pushed, because sometimes it's hard to push ourselves, and sometimes we're unmotivated and really need someone to like put us back on track. And he really does that. Like as annoying as it can be, like it just needs to be done, you know. And I think that's just like at the end of the day, I'm just thankful for it, because you know, like I said, he really has done a lot of things for me that didn't need to be done, and he didn't have to go out of his way to make it happen, but he does it because he knows this is going to take you one step further. And like all I can do is just do my part and make sure I come through when he needs me to come through. I think that's why it works so well, because like if he tells me to do something, like I'll do it, even if it takes me 2 more days than he told me to do it. Like it's gonna get done regardless.
It's gonna happen,
yeah. You gotta think about it from an analogy perspective, bro. Right? Dallas Cowboys. You know
Get out. Get out.
Nah, you know what I said? Not everybody can be the quarterback. It's fine.
Not everybody can be wherever.
I forgot, my bad. Not everybody can be the quarterback, and it's okay if you're not the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I've learned through coaching and through working with xBValentine, like maybe she's not meant to be the quote unquote quarterback, right? Because not everybody's the shot caller, the play caller. So people wait for the plays to be called, and then they run their route to the best
wide receiver.
And then as soon as you throw them the ball, they're going to run the route, they're going to catch the ball, they're going to do their absolute best to score and to win the game. And maybe that's the relationship, and we just have to learn how to work off that relationship. You're right. You know, she talks about me blowing up her phone because I believe in momentum. Momentum does not last. You have a window, take advantage of your window. Right now, there's a list. Take advantage of the list. You know what I'm saying? Put out music. How many people have put out music since then? Very little, right? You know, and it's like, this is an opportunity. You have eyeballs on you. You know what I'm saying? I was on her yesterday, the day before yesterday, when we were like, hey, man, you know, your TikTok is starting to go up. Like, I started kind of helping her strategize with TikTok. And I was like, you know, you've just gained this many followers this morning. I got on her Spotify for Artists, and I was like, damn, she just gained. In the last 5 days, she's gained 90 followers on Spotify, which, by the way, Spotify followers are fucking hard to get. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a whole nother conversation, and it's all being done because of call to action. Like I'm telling her, you got to do a call to action. Every single thing that you do has to be a call to action. I don't give a fuck about your goddamn video getting 100,000 views if you're not leading them to something. Mm-hmm. Like, that's cool, but what are you leading them to? Like, you know, what's the message behind that? You're like, oh, hey, this is a cool video that got a lot of views, but like, I'm sorry, no new song. I'm sorry, no new video. Hey, follow me on something that it doesn't lead to anything. So everything you do has to have purpose. It has to lead to something. And now we're starting to see that. And rather than me being like, hell yeah, we got 90 new followers, all I'm thinking about, and probably because I'm on my man period, nigga, I got I'm PMS, and I'm just like, all I'm thinking is like, we could have been doing this shit the whole fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that's my thought. That's the way I think. And it's not to put her down. Shit, it's still a win. But I'm like, damn, we could have been winning the whole motherfucking time. You know, there could have been even more. Yeah. But it's all about figuring it out. That's what I'm saying. It takes time because people think there's like a set formula of how the shit works. It's not.
It's no shortcuts.
You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of that momentum. I go, girl, you got this motherfucking Roc Nation photo. You got all these people looking at you. You haven't posted no photos at all, other than like maybe that we promote the singles. Like right now, people are watching. There's eyeballs on you. You know, you got the TikTok shit started going up, and now you're getting all these new followers. Like, what are you feeding them? Yeah. A selfie in front of the camera? Really?
Hey, I posted something. I knew you were going to say something about it.
Okay. No, it's good. It's good because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you still got to feed the thirsties. You know how I feel? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You still got to show them that you got it going on. Hey.
It's me.
You know what I'm saying? No. But all bullshit aside, to me, that's even cool because, like, it's just, you got to do something. And it's hard whenever, you know, like I saw the interview with M. Dot. And I told him this, and I told him about this myself, so I'm not saying nothing about it. He was talking about collaboration. And I told him when we were on the phone, he's like, man, nobody wants to collaborate because it's so competitive amongst people. I said, man, look, I'm going to stop you there, bro. I respectfully disagree. But not in a way that's like confrontational, more so in the sense that like, we can't knock people for being who they are. Like, if they're just like, some people are introverts. Some people don't play well with others. Some people are so caught up in just creating their art and perfecting their craft, they don't even realize that they're not collaborating with anybody else. So don't think that they're not collaborating with you because they hate on you or because they don't like you or because they don't want to. Maybe right now it's just not the right time to do it. And then also, she did the record with Angel just a few days ago. And XB's gained followers off of that song. Angel's gained followers off that song. That's what you want.
Yeah.
The purpose of a collaboration to ultimately be is to cross audiences. Doing a collaboration for the sake of good music is also another reason. But like, again, this goes back to doing things prematurely. Like, you do things prematurely, like, why would we waste that collaboration now when that collaboration could be bigger in a year or 2 years or 3 years? But I say that to say it's not always that way. Like, you know,
That's a great perspective, bro.
Yeah, it's all about perspective. There's no such thing as right or wrong. It's all perspective based. Like you might not be the most, you know, hey man, we gotta work together. That doesn't mean he's hating on you if he's not like that. That just means he's not like that. Yeah. We talk about Coast, man. Coast is such a talented artist, and me and JVaz, you know, like, I've talked about this off the record, on the record, and again, we're gonna talk about it. He's arguably the most talented artist to ever come out of Texas in terms of just pure technical ability. He's not the most fucking social butterfly in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's an introvert, respectfully, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make him any less of a genius, and that doesn't make him a hater.
Yeah.
That's probably what helps him him be so creative.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
So before we make this transition, man, because you're not just a promoter. I mean, not a promoter. I'm about to make this shit into the promoter part. Yeah. You're not just a manager, man. You're an artist, you're a promoter and all that. But before we get to that, man, this part of the show is brought to you by Country Crock, America's #1 butter. Go ahead and butter them up. Go ahead.
Nah, bro, but I wanted to I wanted to do a story for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So back in the day,
I'm like, I ain't
shit. Here we go.
Back in the day, like 2001, 2002, we were out there on Main Street in Fort Worth on a Saturday night hustling CDs.
Damn.
And this wide-eyed kid walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, bro, you Eternal from Latin Embassy, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Here, check out my CD."
Damn.
Oh, shit.
I don't have the case,
bro, I need a copy.
but I have the CD, so I wanted you to autograph it.
Yeah, this is collectible, bro.
That's
dope. I need to actually,
well, my bad.
You know what I'm saying?
He got nervous. He's nervous, y'all.
But the reason I wanted to tell this story is because you know how some people be a motherfucking asshole, you know?
Yeah.
And be trying to sun people and shit like that.
You know who was like that? Hitman.
Yeah.
Hitman from Too Cold. I went up to, they had a limo on Main Street. I went up to them, I was trying to sell my CD. And I was like, bro, I ain't never met no rappers from the area. I thought I was like, okay, more the soldiers than me, that was it. So anybody that I met at the time, I was like excited. I was like, yo, there's another rapper. And he was just like, yo, can you get the fuck away from the limo?
Shout out to that boy, man. He be fucking with me.
Yeah, it's all good though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool though, but like, I remember I took that shit personal.
Yeah. And that's what I'm gonna say. 20 years later, I'm retired. I don't give a fuck about music. I don't want to hear nothing about music. And Smoothvega hits me up and invites me to Day of Unity because you were performing out there.
Oh shit! Yeah, I did.
So I wasn't doing anything with music, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with Smoothvega. So I went over there. You gave me free tickets. It wasn't on you buy some tickets and you come see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was love. You like push this code in, you get 2 free tickets. So I went. And then that night we had a talk.
Focus on it, but y'all see it.
Oh, we went to Taco Cabana.
Yeah, we went to Taco Cabana, and you talked to me about strategy and marketing, and you're like, you got all these good songs with big artists, and they're not on streaming. Like, bro, you need to push these.
I shared that story with Boss Vegas yesterday.
Yeah.
I was just telling him, I was like, yo, I'm doing the Mr. Never Die show.
He's like, you hear that, JVaz?
He's like, good luck editing this show.
I was like, oh, we do the Mr. Never Die show, you know? And I was telling him, I was like, bro, because we talked about Spotify, because we were talking about that yesterday. And, yeah, bro, there's a backstory to that. I don't even want to get into that, but 2017, a lot of shit happened. 2018, a lot of shit happened. So by the time I get to the Day of Unity, which is 2019, I believe, I might have been the end of 2018. I don't remember, but whenever it was, bro. No, it was 2019, beginning of the year. I was like, man, motherfucker was going through it. We're all going through it. You know what I'm saying? And I just invited him. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be in Houston. Like, I kind of already knew, like, that was like my last run of just performing. I'll never say I'm retired though. I still got bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, like I invited you out there, and then we went out to eat. And I just saw you, man. I saw you as someone like, you know what, like you're a good dude. You know, both of you guys are great guys. And I say this for real, like all bullshit aside. You guys are great guys. And I saw your confidence was fucking shot. Like, yo, you had no fucking confidence. I'm like, what the fuck?
No passion.
This dude was not confident. I'm like, dude, you know, when he was a fucking Latin embassy, like, man, these motherfuckers out there were like, they were popping, bro. Like, they were in the Murder Dog magazine. People were really fucking with Latin Embassy at that time, and they were all over Can of Win. You know what I'm saying? They had bitches and bitches and bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Watch out.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you think he had the name Eternal? You know what I'm saying?
Never die.
Nah, but I'll just stay messing with you. Like, but he had a lot of, like, they had a lot of love. And at the time, you know, it was just different. It was a whole different time in music. And so I'm like looking at him and I was like, bro, like we just started talking. I just asked him generalized questions and he's like, yeah, man, I got a song with Gangsta Boo. Got a song with SPM. He started fucking I don't know, like he's naming all these songs that he has with people. Yeah, I got a song with this person, that person, this person. By the time like I'm on the 6 or 7 song, I'm like, bro, like the fuck are you waiting for? Like that was pretty much what I remember vaguely. I'm like, you have all these records and they're not out. Like you have the foundation and the building blocks to put your music out there and go out there and get your numbers up and play the streaming game as we call it. And he did it, and then bro, after it happened, like his confidence just started going up, and all of a sudden
getting that passion back.
Yeah, he started getting the passion back, and then he fucked up and signed with GT Digital. And I told you not to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Did I not tell you not to do that? I was like, bro, don't do that. Don't do that. It calls me a couple weeks later, man. I shouldn't have done it. But nonetheless, it was good to just see you get back into the routine of doing again. You know what I'm saying? You started doing it again, and it's like, to me, that was more rewarding than anything. You know what I'm saying? It was just cool. You know what I'm saying? Did you pay for Taco Cabana?
Huh?
Did you pay for Taco Cabana?
Yeah, I paid for Taco Cabana.
Shout out to
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it,
But
man.
see, that's why I told the story. I said something about dick riding before. And this is why you don't dick ride. That's why you be humble to everybody that comes across you. You be cool because you never know who's gonna be who. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, I experienced a lot of that. To be honest with you, I did experience a lot of people. Like, I don't want to say they treated me bad, but there was a lot of people that had the opportunity to do right by me early on, and you know, there's a lot of people now that I have relationships with. Like, I have a relationship with DJ Reeve, and we cool now. But once upon a time in 2006, I'll never forget. You know, like he kept me waiting outside the radio station and told me he was gonna play my record and never played it, and just broke my heart that night. I remember just feeling like shit because I told all my family and friends, listen to my song, listen to the radio that I'm gonna play. My song's gonna be played, and he never played it. And then when I confronted him about it, he was just he was a jerk about it. You know what I'm saying? Years later now, you know, yeah, there's a respect level there, but I mean, you know what I'm
Never
saying?
forget. Hashtag.
Mr. Never Forget. You know
Never
what I'm saying?
forget. So moving on to the promoter side of Smoothvega, man. I guess we'll talk about Lorenzo now. No, you Smoothvegas a promoter too, huh?
Yeah, I wear shirts at all time.
You know what I'm saying? You have a big event coming up. This is part 2 of Centro Popular, August 6th.
Yeah, man.
You have big headliners. We have Camille in there. We have 3-6 Mafia, GT Garza. Who else can we expect? And talk to us more about this event you got coming up.
So we have Flawless Real Talk, who was, he actually placed second on Rhythm and Flow on the Netflix series. D-Smoke won it. Flawless Real Talk was the runner-up. Cap G. We have some strong local artists, independent artists that, you know, I want to shed light on, which is the whole purpose of this event. We always wanted to make sure that we mix it up. You know, 3-6 Mafia scheduled a headline, and so I'm excited about the event. You know, obviously for me, doing events for so long, started doing events in 2007. Now we're 15 years in. It's hard to get energetic about it. It's hard to be like, yeah, I got an event coming up. Everybody come out. But I mean, the best way that I could tell you guys is like, man, this event was originated from me wanting to pay homage to my mother, me wanting to, you know, honor her. She passed away in 2009. I named the event after her record shop. And so I struggled so long with the idea of how I wanted to honor her. I tried to do my album on the day that she passed. I tried to do shows on the day she passed. I tried to do anything and everything to soften that blow and to honor her. Nothing was ever good enough. I don't think anything ever will be good enough. You know what I'm saying? But when I started thinking like, man, I want to do an event. I want to do a big event. I want to put together, coming out of the pandemic, I want to put something together that's going to bring people together and try to go a step further. I think it's just naturally the next phase of my career in regards to live events is just like focus on the bigger stuff. And we did it last year. It was a success. And it's like, all right, do I want to do it again? I said, I'm going to do it again. But prior to that event, I started having dreams of like, what am I going to name it? And fucking Louis was trying to convince me to call it the Smoothvegas Summer Jam. And I was very close to calling it the Smoothvegas Summer Jam. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and then obviously I was convinced not to call it the Smoothvegas Summer Jam. Right? And then I had a dream I was having a lot of dreams at that time about me and my brother being at my mom's record shop. Because we spent a lot of time there, bro. A lot of time in my mom's record shop growing up from the time that I was born to about the time I was 12. And I named the shop, I was like, man, Central Popular, that's the name of her shop. So I named it after her. So most importantly, that is what it means to me. But if I had to put the promoter hat on right now and tell you guys why you should buy tickets, there's a lot of reasons. Obviously 3 6 Mafia, it's the first time being in Fort Worth ever. And they don't do shows often. It's hard enough to get them to do something together. So 3 6 Mafia, obviously Camille in there. He doesn't perform often, and this may or may not be one of his last time performing. Who knows? Only he can make that call. But based off of historically, how often does he perform now? You know what I'm saying?
Bumby Rodeo, and that's it.
Yeah, so he's doing this event. And that's a big reason in its own right for people that are fans of his, and obviously I'm a big fan of his. He was a big influence in my career early on. But also, most importantly, like I don't integrate myself into the promotion because I want to be the face of the promotion, but it is my event. And the talent will become interchangeable as it grows if it continues. So for me, it's like this is a homegrown event. It's for us, by us. It's a Fort Worth-based event by a Fort Worth guy. And eventually maybe it grows. But right now, that's where we're at. I'm Mexican. How many Mexican Americans maneuver in this space? I've been to venues all across the country. Been everywhere, bro. I'm not just saying this as a selling point, as a marketing tactic. There's no representation at the agencies. There's no Latin agents, Mexican agents. There's no Mexican GMs in these music venues. There's very little Mexican-American promoters that are promoting urban music. It's crazy to me how the white people control that. It's really weird how they dictate where the culture goes. You know what I'm saying? Me and xBValentine did a tour with Westside Boogie. She toured with him, did several dates with him. I love Boogie. So don't use this as part of the promotional clip. It's in the interview, though. But, I felt I did good business by Boogie. We did 8 shows. Shit, I got a video of him telling me I changed his life. Kept him busy at a time he wasn't busy. And then what happens whenever his album comes up? They give Live Nation the date, right? I get it, man. Live Nation's the big dog. They have the millions of dollars. But who's the agent? You know what I'm saying? And who are they selling to? Is it? Oh, it's white on white. Surprise, right? And so when you talk about that, and you see very few people in that space, I feel it should be encouraged and supported. There's not enough of us out there.
Yeah,
and that's the honest to God truth. I know it's a little dramatic for an event, but that's why people should buy a ticket. That, and if y'all don't buy a ticket, my kids are gonna struggle, man. They ain't gonna have clothes to wear. They ain't gonna eat. You know
$45.99. You can feed a family of 4.
This is like supporting my kids, dog. You know, they don't have no food on the table, dog. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but I should have said that's what it is, bro. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the biggest misinterpretation about how to do shows or how to do bigger shows. And like, I respect anybody in the space. There's very few people that know how to do it at that level. You know?
And you've done tours across Texas through the major cities, not just in your city. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be back in Houston, actually, in October. Jordan Lucas. I'm doing Jordan Lucas' tour. We're doing Dallas. It hasn't been formally announced, so I can't give the dates. But Dallas, we're doing studio at the factory, and then we're doing Rise Rooftop in Houston. But yeah, you're right. I've done tours. You know, I did Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap. I did it in Houston. Did you go to that show?
No, I didn't go.
I mean, yeah, it was probably before because that was in 2018. But yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of tours for a lot of artists, and that's what I'm saying. I've learned that, from doing these events, from putting on tours, bro. There's a lot of artists I've worked with. Like, all bullshit aside, I hate name dropping the artist because like I've like memorized it and recited it to the point where it's like, damn, dog, I really don't like saying this shit anymore. But for the record,
Alphabetically.
So you got Jordan Lucas, Nipsey Hussle, Dave East, A Boogie with the Hoodie, Westside Boogie, Bad Baby, Ja Rule, Shantae the Game, Bun B, Scarface, Chameleon, obviously Paul Wall. I work really closely with Paul, do a lot of his bookings, obviously Cap G, you know what I'm saying? Then plus, you know what I'm saying, Crazy Bono Bone Thugs in Harmony, now 3-6 Mafia, Royce the 5'9", Joe Budden, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many artists beyond that as well, you know what I'm saying? Genuine, Maya, and so, like...
I don't want to name drop, but...
Yeah, I could keep going, though.
The post you had posted on that, I knew you was different, bro, when you had Scarface, Chino XL, and was it Royce the 5'9"?
No, it was me, Immortal Technique.
Immortal Technique, and you had them at Walmart in Fort Worth.
You know what's so funny about that picture, man? There's a photo that exists, of me, Immortal Technique, Chino XL, and Scarface, right? Which, like, by all accounts for me, it's a huge deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Face is in my top 5 that are alive. Tech for a long time was in my top 5. Chino XL, very to this day, still respect him as a top lyricist. And we're at Walmart in Fort Worth in Riverside. You know what I'm saying? And like we're together. But what was really meaningful about that photo, ironically enough, that photo was the night of December 12th going into December 13th. It just so happens that December 12th going into December 13th was the same time that my mom passed away. And on December 12th going into December 13th, the last thing that I did before I got home and saw that my mom had passed away, because my brother had found her, I was at Walmart at the same fucking time, may I add. And it was probably about, I don't know, say like 4 or 5 years prior to that. So I felt that was like a really big thing. Like it was like a metaphor of some sort. So it's like, damn, dude, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was at a Walmart. And when I left Walmart, I go to my house and we find my mom deceased. Here I am 4 or 5 years later at Walmart with my fucking favorite rappers shopping at Walmart. Like, these were 3 of my top 5 fucking rappers, dog. Like, other than maybe Eminem and fucking Tupac. Yeah. Like, those guys consisted of my top. Other than maybe like Joe and Royce. And I was like, what the fuck? This is fuck. I just like, I took a picture, and the next time I see Scarface, that motherfucker took a picture of me at Walmart when I wasn't looking, right? And he was playing around. He wasn't really mad. I was like, but he had no idea why I did that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a cool story, bro. Nobody knows the backstory of that. I'll share that photo again just because I want to.
Send it to me so I can clip it on here.
Yeah, I might still have it on my phone. That was a dope moment.
I'll forever remember that, bro. That was crazy.
Yeah, bro. We were going through the fucking.
I want to ask y'all the $1 million question, and either one of y'all can answer it if y'all can even answer it. So when y'all signing?
Oh, that'll be a good clip for Instagram. You know what I mean?
Whenever Smooth says
forever the promoter.
Dog, I'm looking for that photo now. You know what? I would say that as long as everything's good, next week too. I mean, I would say that it's possible. I talked to them on the way over here. I just haven't had a chance to talk to her, so we'll talk more about it in depth. But I mean, look, Universal actually did reach out the day after we got back. You know what I'm saying? The day after we got back at Walmart, boy. Look at the time. It has the exact time.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I would say that, there's really nothing. Universal had reached out probably the day after we got back, but they haven't hit back. And something I took from the interview when I spoke to Westside Boogie, he's like, yo, Interscope reached out to me. I knew it was them all along. He's like, it meant a lot to me that they were the first ones to reach out. So it means a lot that they're the first ones to reach out, but I don't want to get into the technicality, but what they're offering isn't like we're locking you in and you can't even look across the street. They're giving a lot of creative freedom and a lot of freedom. So she could still move around. So it's not gonna be like she can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, why not?
Quick question. I get a whole bunch of those fucking emails. What showed you that was real from really Roc Nation?
For one, the email address, right? That was the first thing I looked at. Like, oh,
RocNation@gmail.com. Like, come on.
That's the Roc Nation before that. That's how you know it ain't real.
No, it was that, and then also just like, you know, a trick that I use is like, most people have a LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying? I know like that's not a popular site for people to use, but if you copy and paste somebody's name and dump it into LinkedIn, you'll find if they have a profile. And most record executives and A&Rs have one. And so that was it. I was like, okay, that passed that test.
Yeah.
Then that passed that test. Let's just get on the call. Yeah. And then also whenever we did get in the conversation, I pressed a meeting. Like it wasn't like I was like, hey, what's up? You know, let's have a conversation over the phone. Like, let's meet. And they were actually impressed. They were like, man, these motherfuckers want to meet. They want to fly in and just come in and out. Like, they're cool with it.
Yeah,
Like,
the dude was super excited. Like, he was like super pumped. So I think that's what made me excited. That he like genuinely, he was just smiling. Like as soon as because I had went to the bathroom before we even got to meet him. So as I came out, they had already talked. That was my first time meeting him because we only talked on the phone. I was like, this dude had the biggest smile on his face, and I was just like, man, that made me feel good because he's happy that like we're here, and that was a good sign to me. You know, he didn't look serious or like, you know, there was no negative energy. He just looked excited, and I think that's what was like, all right, like that's what we need. We need people who are just excited as we are. You don't want to be working with somebody that's doesn't believe in you, you know, the same way we believe in it. Like we all got to be in the same page, and I think that's what like clarified it for me. I was like, all right, this dude's really going out of his way to make sure like, you know, we're even in the building. Yeah. So I think that's really showed a lot.
And we also had to wait an hour for the president to come into the meeting, and he stayed there with us and just chilled.
Yeah.
And talked to us. And then when I talked to him today, it was funny because I texted him. I had some questions. He texted me back. He said, oh, by the way, the holiday passed, but you could call me anytime. And then I called him. I was like, hey, you busy? He's like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, you could tell, like, he's a fan. And he's expressed that. He's like, you know, I'm a fan of your music. So when you have that energy, man, like, you know, sometimes that's all it takes, bro. Like I said, you know, that confidence, man. Like confidence is something that's very, very important in an artist's development and in an artist's growth.
Yep.
You know, to use the analogy of pro boxing, right? Like, if you rush a fighter into a championship fight before they're ready, they're going to get knocked the fuck out. And when they get knocked the fuck out, most people do not regain their confidence from getting knocked the fuck out because all they're going to be scared of is, I could potentially be knocked the fuck out again.
Yeah.
And it just shoots their confidence. You know what I'm saying? But when you build a fighter up to the point where they're confident, they know how to maneuver around the ring, they know how to jab, they know how to defend, they know how to do everything, right? Shout out to G-Love. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I didn't see your Vox video. You know what I'm saying? No, but real shit, like you go in there confident now. And now that you're confident, like you're ready for that championship fight. So when the championship fight happens, like, you know, confidence is a hell of a thing to have.
Yeah.
And it shows a lot of times when artists don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why artists get exposed on stage because they're not really confident. You know, and that's what I was talking about even when we're talking about the foundational work, dog. I go back to that. It's the basics, man. It's the basics. Like, man, like, how many of these artists are actively performing, and what are we measuring success by? Everybody has a different definition of success, right? Like, we all have different definitions of success, but like, how are we measuring who's doing what? Like, are you doing it because you have a big Instagram following? What if you have no Instagram presence, but you have a hell of a TikTok presence? And TikTok technically is the #1 visited website in the world. I'm not saying that TikTok's the be all end all, but like, it should account for something.
Yeah.
Or hey, you know, you have terrible YouTube number or terrible TikTok numbers and terrible Instagram numbers, but God, your YouTube's popping. So like, it's just a matter of measuring. But ultimately, for me, it's like, it goes back to the foundation, like what it should always be about, which is how good is the music? Like, how good is the music produced? That's what should ultimately matter. You know what I mean? Like, is the music good? Because good music will always last, in my opinion.
Yeah. Speaking of good music, what can we expect in the upcoming months, the rest of the year, from xBValentine?
Well, definitely more music. Can I tell them what the next song is?
Oh, you can tell them whatever you want to tell them, Diva.
All right. Hey, I learned
She
from
gonna be
my
like,
You got
best.
the Texas Underground radar. You can spill the beans here.
So the next song is actually with Royce the 5'9", which is actually I'm actually really excited for it just because like the way it came about. I remember when Smooth sent me the beat, I was just not feeling it. I was like, are you sure? Like, this is the one? He like really like, so my producer, she's actually the one that Bree, she actually produces all my beats, and this was like a real old beat of hers that she didn't even like, but Smooth was like, nah, like I have a vision, and he got Avery Burke to actually play the guitar on it, and it just like they like kind of you know, played around with the beat a little bit different, and he sent it to me. He's like, all right, try to do something to it now. I was like, okay, like this is, you know, I can work with this. But I was still kind of like iffy about it because it was so different than when I was like very like, I don't even know how to explain. Like, it's just a little bit more hardcore of a hip hop beat than what I'm used to. But I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like Smooth said, like this is the one. And I ended up sending it to him. And it was kind of one of those situations again where I was just like, I don't know if I really like it. But he's like, nah, this is the one. Like we're getting Royce on it. And we went to the studio maybe like 2 weeks later. I drove up to Dallas and I linked up with him and Royce, and we showed it to Royce, and he was just like, oh yeah, he was like, this is money in the bank right here. And I was just like tripping out because I was like, damn, like I feel like this song is like not my best work, but like hearing him say it, it's just like, because I like, it goes back to I'm really my hardest critic. Like a lot of the times when I don't really think my shit's good, like other people be like, what the fuck, like this shit go hard, like. And I think that's why I'm most excited for this song, because it's like I really want to see everybody else's response from it, because I think it's just gonna be really dope to like see how, like, we know how it all came about, so to see how other people respond to it is like what I'm really looking forward to. So I think it's gonna be dope.
You ever heard, like, it reminds me a little bit of like Lose Yourself, you know what I'm saying, like a little bit of that vibe, the Eminem Lose Yourself track. So, you know, she mentioned I got the beat, you know, I heard the beat was not all that, but I heard what I needed to hear, and I said, if we replace this, the instrument, if we basically replace the computer version of that instrument and actually, you know, insert live instrumentation, and if we bring in a guitarist that plays electric and actually plays it, that's gonna become a whole nother record, and that's exactly what happened. And everybody that's heard it says, like, man, this shit sounds like it belongs on a movie.
Yeah,
it belongs, and that's the point, because it's like xBValentine. I told you guys a little while ago. You know, you can't become predictable, man.
Yeah.
Like, if every song sounds the same and every song's about the same stuff, and you're in love, or you're heartbroken, you're in love, and you're heartbroken, it gets old. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that that's what she does, but that's just like, it could become redundant. You know what I'm saying? You can't do another Hate the Way. You already did Hate the Way. You can't do another, you know, whatever. What you need. You already did what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, challenge your sound. And let's press it, and let's go a step further, because that's what's gonna separate you from the pack, because you're daring to be different and you're attempting to be great. And if you fall short, guess what happens? You're not gonna fall short by much, because you're putting in your full effort. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm excited about that song as well, because it's just like how it came about. But I was more involved with the production aspect of that record, like really piecing it together and really going in and saying, yo, she didn't like the beat when she heard it. The original beat. I didn't like the beat when I originally heard it, but I already knew, like, dude, trust me, this is gonna sound like this.
Yeah.
And when Avery Burke came in, and shout out to Avery, phenomenal fucking artist, right? And she came in and she started playing, and she zoned out. She fucking gave me hella licks, hella riffs to pick from. I was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do with it. And then also, I think that's a lost art, bro. A lot of artists, like, they don't play over live instrumentation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a kid that I'm working with out of Fort Worth. His name's Nate Nash. And I'll play one of his songs before we dip. He's an artist. I don't want to say that I want to manage, but I definitely have my eye on him, and I've been working with him for years, just kind of coaching him up. And he just recorded a record. You know, I told him, hey, man, just work on records. Give me 6 months, bro. Work on records for the next 6 months, and then bring it back, and then we can talk about really working with each other. And he came back, and he brought me the record that I was looking for. He's like, this is the record I got. Spent hella money. Man, bro, live instrumentation all over that motherfucker. He has a Congo player, fucking, I want to say like a sax player at the end of it, like a trumpet player. He's just like, yo, this shit is fucking fire. And I'm like, that's what music's meant to be. Because whenever you can translate that, like if she does the record with Royce at any given time with Avery on stage at a show, now you're transitioning into a full band, a live set. It's a whole nother animal, my boy. And that's where you want to get to. So I'm excited about that. But it's challenging the sound, you know what I'm saying? Like you want xBValentine.
What's the name of the record?
Goddamn, what's the name of the song?
Still Standing, I think.
Still Standing.
Like on a personal note, when I heard Double Up, nothing against your other records, because I love like the one with Cap G and Baby Bash, but when I heard Double Up, your verse on there was just like it grabbed me.
I
And I was
appreciate
talking to Vega about it, and he was saying because you were rapping on that hoe, so you were spitting bars. You know what I'm saying? So it was something different. So
Yeah.
Cap G told me
you.
the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually started off rapping. I used to do nothing but boom bap. Like when I was younger, that's all I did for like a couple years. So like rapping to me is like that's just what I love to do.
Definitely
but like,
hit him with that rap.
Yeah.
You gotta know when to pick. You gotta know when to pick and choose to do it. But yeah,
Yeah, facts.
It was the perfect time, you know.
Yeah.
That there was a lot of things that were happening at that time, and it just hit.
Yeah.
And like like Cap, is a good friend of mine. We were driving around, and I was playing him a bunch of unreleased records that she had. I played that song, and he just fucking puts the volume down and starts clapping. What is he doing? He's like, that's like the first song that I've really heard that's like, yo, she's there.
Hey, that Popovich bar, that was hard.
I had to.
Yeah, that's like she's here. But I was like, man, like I'm thinking about like, bro, that's what you think. Like you haven't even heard, but it's like, but I know what they don't know, and I know.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: like we're gonna have a conversation a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, and that music's not even gonna be comparable to what eventually is gonna come. You just think about it, bro. That's all I look at, man. Like, don't ever look at current form. Look at final form. I look at what can be and what's gonna be. So,
Yeah.
what is like a 3-hour episode?
We had 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? We had 2 hours. But hey, you got anything else up there?
Man, bro, I just want to thank you for everything that you contributed, like such as master classes and giving artists game.
Yeah, he went to my master class.
I mean, that's the reason we're doing a video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, you went to the master class.
Yeah.
No, you went to a different master class.
Nah, we both
Maul.
went to the one with
you
Maul.
went Maul?
Yeah.
I asked Mom. I told Mom, I said, hey, we already a top feature Apple podcast. What do we do next?
true that.
And he was like, video.
Well-known fact, little-known fact, actually. So Joe Budden, who I met through, we talk about relationships, who I met through the touring side, got in good with his management team, still good with his management team. They had a really popular podcast, still have a very popular podcast, and one of the hosts at the time, who's no longer a host, he has his own. We did a masterclass with him in 2019, and it was all about podcasting. Because I saw the opportunity within podcasting from what JVaz was doing and other people. So I was like, yeah, let's do a podcast class. And we did it. And we did 2 classes, and we sold out. And, yeah, I mean, JVaz went. You went as well.
Yeah.
But to your point, that's actually the reason why I actually did go into podcasting. As much as, like, the Busy interview did it, we had went out to eat afterwards. And when me and him were talking, I was kind of expressing to him, like, my interest in it, and he's like, man, you'd be good. I don't necessarily consider what I do podcasting, but you know what it is, right? So, man, it's a long journey, man. That was cool, man. You're right.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I remember one time you invited me to a hotel. We were gonna have a meeting, and it was when you were doing the Joe Budden show, but I couldn't come because I had to work. So right when I got off work, I went to the hotel, and then there's Joe Budden at the front of the hotel. Just I'm like, damn, that's fucking Joe Budden right there. That's when he would rap and doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'll be forgetting about that shit. That's dope. Yeah, man, it was cool, man. But there's a lot of stuff, man, that I don't think people realize that I do. Like all the social media management stuff. I run a lot of people's fucking Facebook and YouTube channels.
You do a lot for the culture, bro.
Yeah,
Say thank you.
Yeah,
I
we
appreciate
it.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, this is dope. And I wanted to do the interview not because of my history with you guys, but also because the story gets diluted a lot of times. People don't know how to tell the story. She has a story to tell. She has her own story to tell. And, next time she'll be here by herself, because if not, I'm gonna talk all the time.
And I'm the diva.
Nah, but shit, hey, we appreciate y'all's time, man. Once again, the hottest duo, artist manager duo coming out of
Hey, that's questionable.
coming out of Georgetown. We got xBValentine.
Yeah.
We got Smoothvega coming out of their funky town, A17. And once again, we appreciate you guys' time. We appreciate you guys,
Thank you,
stopping by
AB.
the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you
And-
guys.
And can't wait to see you throw up that rock. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Throwing it up and
She
whatnot.
already got her Illuminati application.
She already filled it out. She already got the picture of it too. Like, she already posted.
She already sold out.
She already-
She don't even know your name anymore, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but real shit, man. I appreciate you guys. I love what you guys are doing. Continue to do it. encourage these artists to get better, encourage these artists to get their music produced. I say that because
JVaz talks a lot of shit about him.
No, I mean, like I said, artists are never gonna get better unless we point it out. If we're
Facts.
just kissing their ass and be like,
Facts.
you're perfect, you're
Yeah,
great.
you can't
Then-
tell artists what they want to hear. You gotta tell them what they need to hear.
yeah.
It's like, and you know, and sometimes that gets misunderstood when I'm saying it. Like, I'm not hating on y'all. I'm just
you're just
saying
saying it bluntly.
We
Yeah.
want, we want
like,
everything
bro,
to grow.
You need to work on your performance. You need to work on this. And it's like, oh, he's hating. Nah, bro. Like, have you seen your shit? Like, you know what I'm saying?
But you know,
Right.
it's hard to be honest in terms of progression because there is no single A, double A, triple A major league system when it comes to independent music.
Yeah.
So if people aren't giving them the at least the generalized blueprint, or at very least the generalized hey, this is what's worked for us, some best practices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, man, on the way over here, she texted me yesterday. She's like, at this point, you need to start charging people to run their TikToks, right? Because you know I was showing her some best practices and they were working. And I've done this for a lot of fucking people. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm actually, considering doing one of those Zoom classes because I would do those Zoom classes. Every time I do a Zoom class, I had like 50, 60 people get on. It's cool, but man, I'm kind of thinking about doing some more stuff. Because at the end of the day, bro, I do want to pay it for it. I do want to educate. And not everything's meant for everybody to understand because people want the shit easy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to work for it. But it's important that you vocalize and you tell people, like, man, there's always room for growth. So get your music produced and do it the right way. And,
Do it the right way.
And spend money on your shit because if you're not, we could see and we could tell. Not that it's all about money, but you know what I mean.
But it is.
And the things y'all do motivate people because we see what y'all doing and we're like, damn, we got to make some moves to keep up with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
y'all pushing the culture forward. So keep moving, man. Keep rocking.
Once again, appreciate you guys for stopping by. xBValentine.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Always
Vega,
a pleasure.
It's always appreciate you as
Thank
well.
you, man. I appreciate
Never
you.
die. Any last words before we let them go? Roc Nation, baby. Make sure you follow us on all social media pages at the JVaz Show, at Mr. Never Die. Follow xBValentine on her social media as well, xBValentine.
Texas Underground Radar.
Texas Underground Radar. Here he goes, fucking interrupting me again. I get on the road with these comments.
August 6th, man.
August 6th, Centro
your tickets.
Popular. We got 36 Mafia. We got Camille in there, Cap G. XB, you gonna be out there performing as well?
I'm gonna be there, but I won't be performing. I'll be there.
She
for
said,
the
I ain't
support.
get paid.
That's exactly what it is. We'll be doing some ticket giveaways here with you guys, so y'all stay tuned, all right?
Alrighty. Once again, appreciate you guys. And hit the subscribe button. Follow us. Texas Underground Radar. I'm JVaz.
Never die.
Never die. Let's
Fuck all
go.
y'all podcasting.